Oh no. Oh no. The Uzi, one of the most underrated weapons in my opinion in most video games, including Call of Duty, especially in the Modern Warfare series. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about Modern Warfare, or maybe I am. As someone who's always been a fan of the Call of Duty series, I would like to take the time and appreciate this game right here, Insurgency Sandstorm. It's one of those games where you think, oh, it's a modern day shooter, but is it done right? Or is it gonna suck like most? Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. For Insurgency Sandstorm, it does a modern day shooter very well. You have the insurgents and the security forces fighting over objectives in a fast-paced realistic combat scenario, such as running and gunning like you see here, or playing tactically and knowing when to pick and choose your gunfights. Now that has a lot to say for a modern day shooter. Something that a lot of people wanted before Black Ops 4 was announced, including Battlefield 5. Both genres were headed in, I'd say, the wrong direction, where Insurgency Sandstorm is headed in the right one. The reason I say this is because there's no modern day shooter out at the moment, and that's why this game has a lot of place to thrive. So many people were in the demand for a modern day shooter when they saw the announcements at E3 for Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5, they were kind of hesitant on whether to pre-order. I know I was, and that's why I decided to purchase this game. As someone who played the original Insurgency game, which was also a modern day shooter, I've got to say this plays exactly like the original, but way better. And the reason I'm telling you guys about this game is because it'll be coming to console fairly soon. Early 2019 is the release date, at least that's what they're pushing for the development team of Insurgency Sandstorm. They want this game to feel and play just like the original on PC and console, and that's something that's big for this series, but also big for games as a whole. Not too many PC games come over to console, and for this being one of them, I'm actually surprised but very happy. The reason I'm happy is because this game is what a lot of people wanted, a fast-paced military modern day shooter, and that's something we aren't getting from Call of Duty or Battlefield this year, and that's why I'm talking about this game. This game is set to release on PC at the end of September, and I already have access to it because I pre-ordered it, and pre-orders have the ability to play the beta. Now if you're strictly a Call of Duty or Battlefield player, why would you want to pick this game up? Well, first of all, it's cheaper than both of those games combined. It's only $20. Another reason why you should pick this game up is because it tailors towards both player bases of the Battlefield and Call of Duty franchises. Why I say this is because if you're a Battlefield player, in this game you can also use vehicles. You can use small trucks with mounted guns, or if you're a Call of Duty player, you can call in somewhat, not kill streaks, but they're kind of like score streaks. Depending on how well your team does, you can call in AI controlled components to help you win the match. That could either be a helicopter with a mounted turret, or it could be artillery barrages, smoke barrages. It depends on what you're trying to do and what the objective is. But the thing is, it has a lot of variety. There's even a really cool customization loadout for your player, and there's even classes. There's a ton of classes. There's marksman, there's support, there's rushing, there's a rushing class with SMGs and shotguns. There's, just a basic rifleman. It depends on your playstyle. As you could see in that little section, you saw all the classes. There's a ton of them. So it gives the player the ability to choose how they want to play. Do they want to play tactically? Do they want to rush? Do they want to stay back and snipe? It's up to you and the player. There's even a cool customization feature to make your character look a certain way. You can even blend in somewhat with the environment. You can blend in with the other team. If you're really smart, you can use camo to blend in and people won't shoot at you because there is no name tags. It's picking and choosing your battles and knowing who the enemy is and who is friendly. And that's something I really enjoy about the Insurgency games as a whole, is because it really makes you think, but it also makes you have fun when you're playing during the fast-paced action. Not a lot of games are good at doing this. Battlefield is somewhat okay when they do this. They have a lot of customization, but the gunplay is kind of lacking. At least it has been since Battlefield 4 in my opinion. Battlefield 3 was my all-time favorite Battlefield, and it only went downhill from there. Battlefield 4 did some things right, but it also did some things wrong. And with Battlefield 1 being such a letdown in my opinion, with it going to World War I and them basically pushing the fact that you can't really customize your loadout, makes it not as fun to play because you have to play a certain way. This game, there's a lot of variety. There's so many classes, there's so many guns, and there's a whole lot of maps that are coming out as well. Right now there's only about 4 or 5 maps, mainly because it's a beta, but when the full game releases there will be a lot more. There's even going to be a story mode, which I'm really excited for. This game has a lot of potential, like I said. It's something that a lot of communities have wanted, a modern day shooter that's fast paced. It is more realistic compared to Call of Duty, but when people hear realistic, they automatically get let down or turned off and they don't want to try it out. But I'm saying the realistic factor is almost, it's hard to notice. Yeah, the time to kill is fast, but that's why it's realistic. It's fast paced, so when you die, you die. But when you come back, you have the ability to choose what you're gonna do for the next gunfight. That way you don't die again. And there's limited spawns, so it's kind of like a giant search and destroy match almost. But it's really fun. I really do advise you guys check this game out. Let me know in the comment section below if you're curious as to what this game's about. If you are, feel free to check out my channel. If not, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.